Oh, winter, you make me see my shadow. You make me shiver helplessly. Oh, winter, you come again this year, and your cold, cold wind sends a message here. Oh, winter, you want us to build fires, you want us all together, and not forget, and not forget, and not forget. Out there in the winter air, it is more clear that we can forgive, that we cannot live without each other all our lives, all our lives. Oh, Father, put on your old wool sweater and let's sit together. Oh, Father, tell me all your stories and draw your beautiful buildings in the air. Oh, Father, lift up your tenor voice with me in song, with all you hoped for and all you stood for. Out there in the winter air, it is more clear that we can forgive, that we cannot live without each other all our lives, all our lives. Oh, Mother, with your heart so tender, let's walk together. Oh, Mother, tell me all your stories and plant your garden next to me. Oh, Mother, I love to watch your smile. I love to hear your laughter. Tell me how you survived and how you thrive out there in the winter air. It is more clear that we can forgive, that we cannot live without each other all our lives, all our lives. Out there in the winter air, it is more clear that we can forgive, that we cannot live without each other all our lives, 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 all our lives. Da da da, da 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 da. Da da da, da 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 da. Da da da, da 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 da. Da da da, da 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 da.
Good morning, and welcome to the Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Welcome to our multi-platform service. I'm Paul Gibb, and I'm joined today by Service Associate Gloria Pearlstein. And Tad Coriath, Shelley Bernard, Debbie Slarson, and Mary Stackpole are providing music. And our wonderful tech team, Herb Axe, Larry Sherwood, and Deborah Mensch. And of course, you are the ones who make this a beloved community. As I say the welcome words today, I invite those of you on Zoom to shift into gallery mode so you can experience the beauty of this congregation. Those in person, look around and see who you can recognize beneath their masks, if anybody. In all the beauty of languages, cultures, skin tones, shapes, and sizes that come together in your uniqueness, you are welcome here. In the ways you experience and express gender, you are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. In all the ways you make your living and all the places you are from, you are welcome here today. With all the traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here. No matter how long you are away or how soon you will come back, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and, if possible, willing hands. We acknowledge that the land surrounding us is the stolen territory of the Arapaho people, and that many native peoples roamed here freely for millennia before the arrival of white settlers. We commit ourselves to being a center for spiritual exploration and justice making, and to anti-racism and anti-oppression work within and beyond our congregation. If you're new here, we're glad you found us, and hope that in this community, whether you're with us in person or virtually, you can experience the warmth and love of this congregation. Each Sunday is different here, so please come back a few times to really get to know us. We have many opportunities during the week for social connection and spiritual growth. Those on Zoom can check out the links in the chat to help you get connected. Those in person can find our newcomer form on the QR code on the back of the hymnal, or stop by the welcome table in our foyer to get connected. All on Zoom, i.e. the Zoomies, are invited to the virtual coffee hour after the service. And roomies are welcome to stay and chat, being mindful of physical distancing. And as a reminder, any service participants who take their masks off during the service have tested negative for COVID this morning. We ask that you keep your mask on while in the sanctuary this morning, even while singing, but in the fellowship hall during coffee hour after the service, you can take off your masks when you need to do so. Finally, if any new visitors on Zoom would like to introduce yourselves in the chat, please do. We love to know who is among us. If you're here in the sanctuary with us today, we invite you to turn to your neighbor and say, hello. This being the traditional season of Advent, we are lighting our Advent wreath each week as a reminder of what this season could offer should we desire it. On the fourth week of Advent, we light the final candle. This marks the final week before Christmas. This last candle symbolizes peace. Peace on earth, goodwill towards all. If you have a chalice at home, you can light it with Gloria as she lights our fellowship chalice. Oh, sorry. I'm ahead of myself. If you have a chalice at home, you can light it with me, or with Gloria as she lights our fellowship chalice. So we know where all chalices are. Please write in the chat, chalice lit in the name of your town. Please say the words along with me as Gloria lights our chalice. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. And now I'll sing our bowl again, inviting it to draw you deeper into the present moment and this, our beloved community. Our opening words today are from a poem by Victoria Safford, The Moment of Magic. Now is the moment of magic, when the whole round earth turns again toward the sun. And here's a blessing. The days will be longer and brighter now, even before the winter settles in to chill us. Now is the moment of magic, when people beaten down and broken, with nothing left but misery and candles and their own clear voices, kindle tiny lights and whisper secret music. And here's a blessing. The dark universe is suddenly illuminated by the lights of the menorah, suddenly ablaze with the lights of the Kinara, and the whole world is glad and loud with winter singing. Now is the moment of magic, when an eastern star beckons the ignorant toward an unknown goal. And here's a blessing. They find nothing in the end but an ordinary baby. Born at midnight, born in poverty, and the baby's cry, like bells ringing, makes people wonder, as they wander through their lives, what human love might really look like, sound like, feel like. Now is the moment of magic, and here's a blessing. We already possess all the gifts we need. We've already received our presents, ears to hear music, eyes to behold lights, hands to build true peace on earth, and to hold each other tight in love.
So this is one of a few opportunities we'll have to sing together today. This is in your gray hymnal. It's number 55, Dark of Winter. And so our moment of magic of winter solstice for this year is this Wednesday, the 21st. I believe it's at 2:27 p.m.
2:48.
Oh, okay. Sometime Wednesday afternoon. Excuse me, but in the meantime, this song encourages us to embrace the darkness and feel nurtured by it. So again, this is 55 in the gray hymnal, And we encourage you to rise in body or spirit if you're able.
Dark of winter, soft and still, your quiet calm surrounds me. Let my thoughts go where they will. Ease my mind profoundly. And then my soul will sing a song, a blessed song of love eternal. Gentle darkness, soft and still, bring your quiet to me. Darkness, soothe my weary eyes, that I may see more clearly. Let my heart with sorrow cries comfort and caress me. And then my soul may hear a voice, a still small voice of love eternal. Darkness, when my fears arise, let your peace flow through me.
Despite the beautiful words to that song, a lot of us humans are afraid of or don't like darkness. We don't like dark nights of the soul, dark moods, or dark days. We would rather be enlightened. We don't like not knowing. We call it being in the dark. In these, the darkest days of winter, we are eager to have the solstice arrive so that the longer, lighter days will return. But the dark does have its own strength and power. In the following solstice meditation, UU minister Gary Kowalski calls us to look at the dark in a new way. He writes, "Night has its own kind of beauty, different from the beauty of day. Night is a time of sleep and dreams and inward visions. A time of pause within activity. Darkness is an invitation to imagining and storytelling, and to using our ears instead of our eyes to listen to the world in its stillness. Darkness is the den of life in germination, and darkness is the portal of death that opens to eternity, the mystery of all time past and endless time to come. At the center of our being, there is light and there is darkness, the known and the unknown, the named and the nameless, the finite and the infinite. Light and dark are different, but they are not opposed to each other. They are friends with one another and with us.
Each week, we remind ourselves of the abundance of our lives and this community by giving half of our plate away to those organizations that share our values. Today, the half plate is for Community Food Share. Community Food Share is Boulder and Broomfield County's food bank. They collect donated food from many sources and store the donated food in a warehouse where it is sorted, packaged, and checked for spoilage. Over 50 local basic needs agencies rely on them for free food to pass on to their clients, including many organizations which the fellowship supports. As a Feeding America food bank, they serve those in need by efficiently providing food to their program participants and partners while maintaining the highest standards of food safety. Through engaging their partners and the broader community with hunger awareness outreach, they promote the conviction that together we can all reduce and eventually eliminate hunger. You can text your donation at the number on the screen, or if you are at the fellowship today, place a donation in the offering plate as it passes. Please give generously as you so often do. As our musical reflection begins, we invite you to reflect upon and write into the chat, if you're on Zoom, your answer to this question. When have you found wonder in darkness? for the work of the fellowship, bringing love, reason, compassion, and justice to the world, and for community food share, we dedicate our offerings. Let us not forget the paradox that when we are in total darkness, we can actually see much, much farther. And then when the sun is up in the sky, we can see way, way out into the depths of the universe. We can often be filled with a great sense of awe and wonder. When I was a teenager, I often walked into a nearby forest in the dark of night, even in winter, in order to smoke a cigarette without letting my parents know I was doing it. As I stood on a hill and looked up at the universe, sometimes the music of Gustav Holst's incredibly mystical work, The Planets, circled around in my head, and sometimes also the transcendent finale of Johannes Brahms's First Symphony. Those experiences on that hill changed my life, allowing me to see that there was holiness in darkness, touching my soul more deeply than at any other time in my life, and causing my deep insides to wake up to what life on this planet means to me. And I get tingles in my spine every time I remember those experiences. Yes, it's true that becoming aware that we humans are like tiny insects on an enormous ball of rock circling around a huge ball of flame and some unknown part of a seemingly endless universe can make us feel pretty insignificant. But such an awareness is also an incredible antidote to the egotism that can so often be a big part of our human experience. And then, too, it can be a powerful reminder of how incredible it is and how wonderful and strange and beautiful it is that we exist at all. But of course, darkness isn't experienced solely in the wintertime. It's just more noticeable because there's more of it. And then, too, with the season of greater darkness comes also greater coldness, causing us to be a bit more likely to feel some despair. As Madeline L'Engle puts it, a new year can begin only because the old year ends. In northern climates, this is especially apparent. As rain turns to snow, puddles to ice, the sun rises later and sets earlier, and each day it climbs less high in the sky. One time when I went with my children to a planetarium, I was fascinated to hear the lecturer say that primitive people used to watch the sun drop lower on the horizon in great terror because they were afraid that one day it was to go so low that it would never rise again. They would be left in unremitting night. There would be weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth, and a terror of great darkness would fall upon them. And then, just as it seemed that there would never be another dawn, the sun would start to come back. Each day it would rise higher, set later. Somewhere in the depths of our unconsciousness, we share that primordial fear. And when there is the first indication that the days are to lengthen, our hearts, too, lift with relief. The end has not come, joy. And so a new year makes its birth known. End of quote. But let us find our joy not only in the lifting of the darkness. Let us celebrate not only the beginning of the return of more light, but let us know there is holiness and wonder in darkness as well. Amen.
We have another chance to sing together this morning. Our next hymn will be number 57 in the Gray Hymnal, All Beautiful, the March of Days. So we invite you to rise in body or spirit as you are willing and able. Again, number 57 in the Gray Hymnal.
We invite you now into a time of meditation, and we're going to be using words that are partly thanks to Sylvine, who wrote them for a solstice service a number of years ago. Kentucky poet Wendell Berry, one of those people who goes deepest into the dark, tells us that the dark, too, blooms and sings. So let's go into the darkness together during the next few minutes. Please get comfortable in your chair. Feel your feet on the floor. Close your eyes and relax. Take 3 deep breaths, letting each one out with a sigh. Keep breathing deeply as you feel your feet on the floor and as you continue to feel your chair supporting you. If you notice any distractions, any distracting thoughts or sounds in the room or little feelings, just notice them and let them go. Return to the awareness of your breath. Like winter, this is a time to relax, to rest, and to go deep inside. We'll be in the silence for about 2 minutes. I'll ring the bowl when the time is over. Until then, just keep breathing and letting any distractions go and coming back to your breath. So as you're ready, open your eyes and come back to the room.
And now I invite us into our time of community connection, our time of sacred sharing. If you're on Zoom and you'd like to share a joy or a concern, please type it into the chat window, sending it to everyone, and let us know briefly what is in your heart today. I will read out loud what you share, and Gloria will add a stone to our sacred waters on your behalf. If you're in the sanctuary today, you can come up front, share your joy or concern using the microphone, and add a stone to the waters. Or you can add a stone in silence. Wherever you are, please tell us your name and where you live when you share. So whether you joined the service today with joy or sorrow, whether you have suffered losses of friends or relatives, whether you have illnesses in the family, or have found new joys, may you find peace as you await the solstice.
Golden and blue, shine.
when you think it's almost gone, there is still hope. 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 There is still
The Jewish holiday of Hanukkah begins tonight at sundown. My husband, Rich, grew up in a Jewish family, and to honor him and his ancestors and their traditions, we usually light candles at least a couple of times during this 8-day holiday. There are two main stories connected with Hanukkah. One is based on history, and the other is based on faith and hope. We'll look at the history first. About 2,400 years ago, 200 years before Christ, Judea, which was then known also as the land of Israel, was conquered by a kingdom that worshiped the Greek gods. The invading king outlawed the practice of Judaism. Jews could not celebrate their Sabbath, observe Jewish holidays, or study their scriptures. The invading king's soldiers captured and desecrated the 300-year-old Holy Jewish Temple in Jerusalem. They built an altar to Zeus, and they sacrificed pigs, which the Jews considered to be unclean, within the temple walls. The Jews faced the hard choice of converting or being killed. Some complied, but others fought back. One Jewish priest and his 5 sons gathered a group of rebels to fight the invaders. These rebels became known as the Maccabees, which means the hammers. And against all odds, the Maccabees drove the invaders out of Jerusalem and reclaimed the temple. They cleaned the temple, they rebuilt its altar, and they relit an oil lamp that had continuously burned inside the building for centuries. The reclaimed temple was dedicated during an 8-day festival that became the first Hanukkah. The word Hanukkah actually means dedication. And how joyful that dedication must have been. I remember how happy we were in October that we were able to dedicate this building. And the Jews at that time came through harder times. So that's the historical story. Here's the hope and faith story. When the Maccabees reclaimed the temple, they relit the temple light with the only jar of oil that they could find. That jar held only enough oil for 1 day, but miraculously, the temple light burned for 8 days. Now, interestingly, this story was not told until about 500 years after the first Hanukkah. Why was it told? Well, according to the Jewish website, thetorah.com, The oil story essentially rebranded Hanukkah so that instead of celebrating a military victory, the holiday instead glorifies the unconditional and miraculous divine light that Jews can depend on even in the gloomiest of times. And as we know, times have been very gloomy for the Jewish people. Even now, in this country, last year, anti-Jewish incidents of harassment, vandalism, and violence reached a record high level. So, lighting the candles of hope is the central ritual of Hanukkah. We use the menorah. We have a menorah here. And the center candle is essentially the lighter candle. You light that first, and then you use it to light the other candles. And you light one candle on the first night, two on the second night, and so forth, until by the 8th night, all the candles in the menorah are ablaze. Under Jewish law, the Hanukkah candles can only be lit after sundown. So we're not actually going to light the first candle here this morning. Instead, we're ending with these words paraphrased from Rabbi Moshe Davis. He said, "A candle is a small thing, but one candle can light another, and as one candle gives its flame to the other, its own light increases. You are such a light." Happy Hanukkah.
So this last time that we'll sing together today is hymn number 223 in the gray hymnal. That's 223 in the gray hymnal, Rock of Ages, Let Our Song. And this song, the words to this song, describe that historic battle that led to Hanukkah. So all feel free to join us. Please rise in body or spirit as you're able.
Children
So here are some announcements. Our Inquirers series of classes continues today at 11:25 in person here in the sanctuary. This 9-week series will repeat throughout the fellowship year, and newcomers or long-timers alike can drop into any class to learn more about our fellowship life. Today, Mary Ann Lawler and Lisa Holmberg will talk and answer your questions about our Lifespan Faith Formation program. Mary Ann and Lisa, could you please stand or raise your hands so people can see who you are? Please come back at 11:25 to join in this chat if you'd like to learn more. The Inquirer series will take a break over the holidays and continue on January 8th with a talk about our small group ministries, including covenant groups and affinity groups, of which we have many. And don't forget that next Saturday, Christmas Eve, we will have our annual No Rehearsal Christmas pageant at 4:00 p.m., both in person and on Zoom. For details, see the weekly Connections email. And also on Christmas Eve, we will have our Candles and Carols Christmas Eve service highlighting our choir at 8:00 p.m. here in the sanctuary. And the service will end with our traditional candle lighting and singing of Silent Night. That service will also be both in person with masks and on Zoom. And now we extinguish our chalice. Please say the words with me. We extinguish our chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Our benediction today is from Mary Sarton. Help us to be always hopeful, gardeners of the Spirit, who know that without darkness, nothing comes to birth, as without light, nothing flowers. Amen.